Today I'm going to talk about what the NBA teaches us about entrepreneurship. Coming up next. Hey guys, this is Broke to Beast, where you make videos about starting your own business online or offline, as well as follow along my own journey. Before we start, if you like entrepreneurship and business content, make sure you go down below and subscribe because we post videos every day about helping you achieve your success. Alright guys, I don't know if you follow sports or anything, but I really like the NBA, and the playoffs are in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and the Cavs are matching up against the Celtics and the Houston Rockets against the Golden State Warriors. So I wanted to make a link between these two worlds, between entrepreneurship and the NBA, and I tried to come up with five lessons in which the NBA has taught me about entrepreneurship and how to form a great company. So the first one is, it all starts on defense. So a lot of times in an NBA team, everybody just looks at the great offense because that's what takes them to the actual NBA championship. But a lot of times the defense is what saves them in critical moments. So if you have a strong defense for your company, this means that you're more likely to survive long term. So if you have a strong, unique value proposition for your company, you're most likely to succeed and keep at the top of your market. This also helps you fend off any new competitors that are getting into your market and trying to steal your market share. And for example, right now you can see the Celtics versus the Cavs. The Cavs have a really bad defense, but the Celtics have a really good defense. And so this shows that they're winning right now. They're 2-0 up in the series, which means that defense can sometimes save your championship. All right, so the second lesson that I learned from the NBA is that it all starts from the coach. Everything that goes around the NBA usually is around the players, but only a few teams have recognizable coaches, such as Brad Stevens in the Celtics or Greg Popovich in the Spurs. But we all know that everything that is established in the court is usually drawn up by the board, which is owned by the coach. So the coach has to initiate the offense and the defense in terms of tactics. And this is the same thing in entrepreneurship. You have to, as the leader of a company, as a CEO, you have to make sure you set the boundaries and you set the strategy for the company of attack and defense of your company. So you make sure it has success. And there's always better coaches and worse coaches. However, even if you have a good coach, if the team is not good, if each individual member of the team is not good, if you don't have all-stars in your team, you won't have success also. So as the CEO is important, the team is also important as well. The third lesson that I learned from the NBA is that being an underdog can be used as a form of energy to combat the more established teams in the NBA. So we all know that NBA usually runs around dynasties of teams that dominate during a period of time. So you had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen with the Bulls in the 90s. And then you had LeBron, basically all of these years. And you had a lot of dynasties, the Celtics. And now we're starting to see that, for example, the new Celtics, are trying to compete in the East to win it and take it to the finals. And you can see that they're using the energy of being an underdog, and especially being young and athletic, to go against the Cavs and beat them at their weaknesses. Being smaller and newer doesn't mean you can't have success. You just have to use that to your advantage and not play by the other people's games. You have to make them adapt to your game. And that's what the Celtics are doing right now. The fourth lesson I learned from the NBA is that switchable positions on defense and offense are really good. So everybody can do a bit of everything. Now in a company, especially in a startup, usually there's three types of people. There's the programmer, there's the people person, the salesperson basically, and there's the business development on the back side. And the business development can be on the business side, or it can be a mix from the tech and the business side, or it can be just the front end or back end. But yeah, usually there's three people. And most of the times these three people are specialized in one single thing. However, this brings up a problem because the sales process doesn't end with one person. It starts with the first contact with the customer until the sale and the use of the actual product and the customer support, which means there's a whole array of people that are mixed in that procedure, which means somebody will do the sales and the customer acquisition, and then it will come to the customer support and product development, and then more to the technical side and the actual use of the product, if it's a software product, for example. And sometimes when you just specialize in one area, you're not looking at the whole picture. So sometimes the technical co-founder might not have an idea of how people are responding to the product. However, if you are used to at least knowing each of the fields and being able to be in contact with every single problem of those fields, you don't have to be an expert in every single thing, but you need to make sure you're good enough to understand it. You're more likely to succeed because you're very versatile. The last lesson that I learned from the NBA is that being young doesn't mean that you can't have success. For example, in the Celtics, the starting lineup has 2 rookies, or 1 first-year rookie and 1 second-year rookie. And they're in the Eastern Conference Finals challenging LeBron and the Cavs. This shows you that being young doesn't mean you can't challenge the big giants. Also, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid with Philadelphia 76ers also got to the second round of the playoffs in their first years. In the West, you had Donovan Mitchell with the Utah Jazz, with a team that should not even make the playoffs, and they made the second round, just getting beat by the Houston Rockets. This just shows you that in the NBA, being young doesn't mean you can't have success. Now, you won't have as much experience, so you have to compensate with other things. But if you learn how to play basketball well, and if you have some experience, maybe if you go to college before, you can make it to the following rounds without having that much experience in the playoffs. This translates to entrepreneurship because it also applies. If you're in your late teens or in your early 20s and you think you don't have experience in a certain area, don't think that. Just think, how can I use the knowledge that you have and the advantages that you have in order to succeed in that market? Sometimes the fact that people are older and more experienced makes them less flexible. So as a young person, you can be more flexible and take more time into the business and put everything you have into the business. There's a lot of things you can do better if you're younger and if you have less experience. Also, if you work harder and you just learn the business better because you're hungrier as a young person, you're also more likely to succeed, because some people that are older, already more established, get lazier and more complacent. Anyways, I hope this helped you understand how the NBA translates to the world of entrepreneurship and a few lessons that you can learn from the NBA. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments below so we can exchange information and help each other in our businesses. And if you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe, because we post videos every day about entrepreneurship and achieving your success. And until next time, peace.